All right, and we are live. Lord Cognito, IronLordPodcast, LordsOfGaming.net. And who is this fine gentleman we have in the realm of PAX East today?
I'm Julius. I'm working at the publisher Daedalic Entertainment and ready to tell you all about Capes today.
Capes is in the building. Now, Capes is something that the Lords checked at a previous PAX, so we want to see how far in development it was. I'm a big fan of this XCOM style game strategy, turn-based, as well as the superhero genre. So let's get into it. We got Lord Attic on the gameplay, seeing what's going on right now. So as far as this demo and how far is the game in development, tell us everything we need to know as far as where Capes is right now.
Yeah, certainly. So I'm happy to tell you that Capes is almost done. We haven't shared the official release date yet, but it's very soon. Look at the end of May. And it's coming for last-gen Xbox and PlayStation, current-gen Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC, so for every platform you like.
Oh, so we got Switch, we got past-gen, we got current-gen, and PC. Oh, no stone missed, no one's left behind. I love it. So again, getting to our classic turn-based action, and just again for the theme, these are heroes that we're determining powers. What's our story? What's our narrative?
Yeah, so the story is, the story takes place in King City, which the superheroes of King City lost the battle against the villain 20 years ago. Now the villains took over the city and created this big government, supervillain government, where developing superpowers is illegal. So what we're seeing right here is that the government suspects there is a soup living in this apartment over there. So they send their agents, and you are trying to save this hero from being transported to prison. Or of course trying to recruit him for your cause, because you are the Capes, you are a group of young superheroes trying to regain control of your city.
So the Capes is actually a group themselves. Yes. That's what the name connotation is. And then from a turn-based standpoint, I'm seeing our classic turn order, and then is it consistent with the Capes first and then the enemies, or is there any different interchangeability with that?
It's initiative based. Some heroes are faster, some goons are faster, and you can kind of imagine it like a Baldur's Gate style initiative system. Nice.
Loving what we're seeing so far. And as far as engine-wise, what is Capes running on from an engine standpoint?
It's running on Unreal Engine. It's running. It's running on Unreal Engine. And the developers took care that we really got those cinematic shots without stuttering.
That's key.
So you really get the feeling that you're playing a superhero movie.
And I'm seeing different ability. Like, see, like that character right now, we got like some ice ability. And I'm assuming like the Capes all have their own unique ability style. Question.
This chick can teleport.
Oh, she can teleport? Okay.
Yes.
Woo! I like that.
Of course, abilities play a really big role in Capes gameplay. So the ice, the ice are actually crystals.
Okay.
So we have here in the mission we have Facet, who is a very defensive character who is able to grow crystals on his body, and we have Rebound, the teleporting, backstabbing girl, and the most fun thing in Capes is actually combining those powers. You are able to combine almost every superpower with each other. For example, in the with Facet and Rebound, Facet is able to give Rebound this big crystal, then Rebound teleports behind the enemy and hits the enemy with the big crystal. You can see this little chain symbol down there.
Yeah, let's do the chain.
That's the chain tells you are able to do a combination attack. So hit the enemy with it.
Yeah, let's hit the enemy with the chain.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. Sometimes you get the cinematic shot. It's sometimes it's staying in the top-down perspective. But that's the fun of Capes, combining different superpowers with each other and finding out what they can do if they work together.
That's pretty awesome. And one thing I really like about it is that type of unique synergy. And I'm assuming like these combination moves tend to be more powerful moves to really turn the tables on your side.
Yes.
That's really cool. Another thing I really like is the fact that there is those cinematic interactions on some of the moves as well to kind of add that flavor to it.
Of course, XCOM has been a really defining force when developing this game, and everybody who played XCOM just loves the cinematic vibe this game has. And of course, this is still an indie game. This is not AAA production, but the developers still did everything they can to give this cinematic vibe. You're playing a hero movie, not a Marvel movie, but with its own license, own characters, own story.
No, you got to respect it. And again, us as turn-based, we all look at XCOM as one of the GOATs, one of the highly revered turn-based games, and to see that in the spirit with Heroes is dope. Also, the other thing I like is, from a stylistic standpoint, even from the fonts, I'm seeing like comic book style fonts. So tell us about like the comic book inspirations for a game like Capes.
Yes, so one of the bigger inspirations is Days of Future Past, X-Men, and of course the classic Marvel stories. Here we see a new hero, which is telekinesis power, sitting in a wheelchair. You can almost see the inspiration.
Yes. There's a certain individual that we know that, of course, could be inspired by.
Yes.
It uses the hand just like that.
No doubt.
And the developers themselves, Spitfire Interactive, sitting in Australia, Brisbane actually, they're big comic fans themselves, and they're actually not new in the video game comic world.
Oh, really?
The developers worked on Freedom Force, which is a fan favorite classic, and now they're kind of creating their spiritual successor to Freedom Force with Capes.
Nice. I absolutely love it.
How voiced is this? Is it just like the cutscenes in between like level to level? Is there voice acting towards it, or?
So we have a lot of voice acting inside the missions with these little bugs and in these little cutscenes, and in story missions. There are smaller side missions where you can explore the characters' past and train them. So the little side mission sequences are not fully voiced, but a big part of the game is fully voiced. And interesting enough, so the heroes have very diverse backgrounds. So Facet, for example, he is originally from Africa. I don't know which state exactly, frankly, but the developers made sure to hire voice actors from the cultural background that these heroes come from, which was tricky at times to find such specific voice actors, but they went the extra mile because that's important for them.
No, that's actually really important, and really respect the fact that Spitfire, you guys went through that extra mile to get that representation, to get that accuracy, that authenticity, so that the voice and the dialect is exactly like Attic. You had a question that you wanted to ask in reference to Capes.
What I like about it is the team chains that they do.
Yeah.
They went detailed down here, so he's able to do two right now. One's with him and one's with him. It shows you which one is going to be.
Nice.
Yes.
Nah, that's really cool.
And one thing that's always fun when playing Capes are ultimate abilities. So while you're doing missions, your characters charge up. For example, Facet charges his ultimate ability when he gets hit. He's a defensive guy where he wants people to hit him hard because that's where the rage is coming from, and once he has all the power, he can unleash a big wave of crystal shards hitting the enemies hard, and that's
awesome.
going to hurt.
That's awesome. Now, as far as total Capes potentially in the game, are we looking at more than 3, or is there another slew of Capes that we can find and join the crew with our other heroes? Or for now, these are kind of like our centralized focus Cape heroes?
So we definitely have some focus characters from the campaign, but there are more Capes to find during the game and to train during the game.
Nice.
We have characters that are super fast. We have the telekinesis boy here. We have fire characters. So there is a lot of variety to set up your team, and that's actually important, like creating the perfect team for every mission.
Gotcha. And again, about his mission structure, because one thing with XCOM games or turn-based style games, we have our classic turn-based vibe, which we love it right now. Is this the core gameplay mechanic, or will there be a strategy layer in addition to it outside of the missions? Or for the most part, it's stage to stage, get mission to mission, objective to objective?
So it's very campaign focused. So
Okay.
there is this main story that you're progressing in. As I said, there are side missions that are optional, where you can learn more about the world, about the lore, about the characters, train them. Each hero has its own skill tree.
We got skill trees for the heroes.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh, we like skill trees for the heroes, Attic. You heard that? We about that. Continue, I'm sorry.
And generally the big difference between XCOM and Caves gameplay-wise, strategy-wise, is XCOM is way more cover focused.
Yes.
So you always try to find best cover for your soldiers. Meanwhile, Caves has no cover system. You get close with the enemies and hit them hard in close combat.
Gotcha.
So being fast and placing your enemies, placing your heroes at the right spot is very important. Many attacks push the enemies around the field, which is something you have to keep in mind when setting up your strategy. For example, of course, the classic, you can push your enemy in the direction of the explosive barrel. You can't go wrong with explosive barrel.
You can't go wrong with explosive barrel.
But also stuff like that, you can push enemies in the direction of other heroes who will be next and can then use the action to hit them from behind. So,
like almost throw them into other enemies.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, doing that's such a great point, because you mentioned how you're not really utilizing the cover system for the heroes, right? So what things defensively, like, can you also implement, being that you're kind of out in the open, right? You're not like the heroes are hiding behind cover like a classic XCOM game. Yeah. So are there any other things defensively that heroes could do when you're in a tough spot?
Yes. So you can use the power of rebound, for example, to teleport your friends out of dangerous situations.
Okay.
And Facet is like a walking cover. He's a big, bulky crystal guy.
Crystal dude. All right.
He likes to be hit, and he can use his taunt ability to get enemies to hit him instead of rebound, which is more like a glass cannon.
Gotcha.
So
that makes sense. That makes sense.
This is just an example for defensive abilities you can use. The telekinesis boy you just saw can use his powers to confuse enemies. You can also disarm enemies.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
There we go. So there's definitely a lot of things you can do to change the playing field, change the battlefield. Love that you have, like I said, a telekinesis character, stealth, move around, and you got almost like your tank archetype, and draw aggro character with this gentleman here.
Yes.
Very, very cool. So again, we're getting close to release.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're looking at, again, soon getting this in our hands, because we've been waiting, we've been following this game for a long time. So Attic, any other questions you have before we finish up with the capes?
So last time I played it, there was a Flash character, obviously, someone that's like speedy.
Yes.
What is there any besides the three here that was in this and maybe the speedster? Is there like another hero that you could give us a little detail on? Like, I'm kind of curious on like the dynamic of the heroes. Like,
What's that exclusive?
Are we going to get like kind of unique type of characters?
Yes, I think one of the more unique characters is Weatherwane, who is a very stormy guy.
Very stormy. I like that.
Yeah, who can summon thunder from the sky to and create like thunder chains between enemies. And when this guy unleashes his ultimate attack, the enemies will burn.
Is there any form of like healing support units?
So the developers, they are keen that superheroes don't kill.
Okay.
We are the Batman type of superheroes. We don't kill. We beat them up. We beat the shit out of them. But this is where we draw the line.
We ain't gonna kill you. Fair enough. And then last question from me. With the stages, the way they're constructed, any boss type encounters with capes?
Yes, definitely. King City is controlled by 4 people, which are like boss enemies to fight against. And these 4 people have their like mid-level goons.
Okay,
They also have special abilities to look out for.
No doubt.
In terms of, like you said, they're controlled by 4 people, is it like there's 4 sections of the city they control, and if you do anything in those, or is it just mainly you come across in every individual person in the campaign?
Come again, sorry?
In terms of the 4 people, is it a scenario where you could choose who you want to take on first, or is it just whoever comes in the story first?
There are some optional heroes to discover during the game. I won't spoil, but there are some characters who turn out more heroic than you thought.
Oh, okay. Cool. So again, we'll encounter these bosses most likely in the campaign, in the course of the campaign.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're loving what we're seeing at it, keeping an eye on it. Obviously, I'm a huge Midnight Suns fan, but Addict said, Cog, it's cool, but I want a traditional XCOM style Heroes game. So Capes satiates that for him.
Yes.
So I don't have to hear his mouth anymore about a turn-based hero game.
Midnight Suns is nice, but don't we all have this little Marvel fatigue? True. We all yearn for something new.
I love it. He's spit balls right now. I love it. Kings is in the building. We got to support Lord Turn-Based. We're in the building. Like an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. We will keep our eyes out for this. Definitely Iron Lords approved. Be on the lookout for Capes.